Okay, here we are. We are live. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin. This is Chiropractic. It's sexy, and I'm here with.
I'm Dr. Erica Peabody, and we've had some adventures in StreamYard lately.
Oh my gosh.
We got to figure this
We had
out.
technical issues last week. We had technical issues this
Yeah.
week. And here's the thing. You guys didn't expect us today. So we did say last week, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to come live on Tuesday. Today is going to be a little bit of a squeeze. We definitely knew we couldn't go live on Thursday.
Right.
So we're here today. We're going to bring you a little bit of insight and give you a little bit of wisdom. And then we're going to send you off to have an amazing Memorial Day holiday weekend. So,
yeah, I can't believe it's Memorial Day. I was just batching out my social media posts just so that, I kind of look ahead, and I didn't get a chance. I was traveling over the weekend. I didn't get a chance to really do and sit like I usually do on Sunday. And so I was like, Memorial weekend, what in the world? And man, is it sunshiny and bright and beautiful out.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We're going to sit outside for lunch today, and I can't wait.
That's awesome. I was just putting up a post about, let's see, I was talking a little bit about, I do like a Wellness Wednesday. I think it's going to come out tomorrow, but it's, one of the things about having the best day is waking up determined to have the best day. And it just kind of really hit me in so many just personal ways this week. And in particular this morning, like I woke up and I was kind of in the doldrums for a lot of different reasons, but I was just like, the dogs need to go out. We need to get some sunshine, hit up the gym, hit up the coffee shop, did a bunch of things, just determined to make it the best day possible. So anyway.
Such a great lesson.
Yeah.
What is it? What you think about comes about. There's so many different ways to say that, right?
Yeah. Think about and think about. I always like to add that one in there.
I love
comes
that.
about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many times people wake up, that term, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, or, we get up and we're like, oh my God, I just know it's going to be a bad day. Well, if you say that to yourself, it's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Life is ultimately a self-fulfilling prophecy for sure. So anyway, I'm usually not in my office on Tuesdays, but I was roaming around in town a little bit, and I knew we were going to do this at 1:00. So I just decided to step in, and there's always so much work to do, but I am not coming off the adjusting floor right now. So it's kind of a different thing, but I still always have stories. So anyway, what you got going this week? Where are we at?
Where are we at? I think, are we on, I put principle number 19 in the headline. So I don't even know which one we're on.
We're in 20, actually.
We're in
19
20?
is organic. Yeah. The material of the body of a living thing is organized matter. So we're in 20 of 33.
Wow. Can you believe that?
I know.
And I was looking too, we have 28 episodes so far. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yes,
I was
moving and shaking. Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, I started to write a list after the 33 principles that's in my book that I started making. Well, you can't really see it, but I started to make a list after.
Is that all the other stuff we're going to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to keep that list
this
going.
one, I feel like, so maybe as a wrap up after we get to principle 33, after principle 33, maybe we go back to, because I feel like I'm going to love this principle, and it's going to rival principle number 6, which is healing takes time. So we might need to have like a recap of what everybody's favorite principle was.
Yes, for sure.
Right? So we're going to have the 34 principles.
34. Yeah. Well, then, I mean, there's at least 150,000 more topics we could cover.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that.
We have longevity in this, right?
We do.
So what is principle number 20 then?
Principle number 20 is a living thing has an inborn intelligence within the body called innate intelligence, which we've been talking right from the start, that this innate intelligence lives along and orchestrates along using the communication wires and messages along the spine and nervous system, coming from the brain down, from the above down and inside out. So yeah, this innate intelligence organizes it all, orchestrates it all, and keeps us moving and shaking. Hi, IT man.
He's waving. It's so nice to have a Todd. I just have to tell you, because he's helping to organize and coordinate it. The innate wisdom of this office has been completely out of alignment, and I did not have an adjustment for that. So this is where we
You've
call
called
in
in
the
the
expert,
expert. Yeah.
right? We call in the expert, right?
Right.
So yeah, when you're in pain, when you are, you have an injury or you're just not feeling great, it's like, how often do we try to do all that stuff ourselves? And it's great because we always have to do the foundational things.
Mhm.
But when you're Googling it all, I am certainly not going to sit here and Google I don't even know what was going on. So let's bring in a Todd and have that person figure it all out. And then I just get to go on my way
Yeah,
and have a great day.
that's
And
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know how much patience you have for IT stuff and anything like that, but I used to, in my other office that I was in for, I don't know how many years I was over there, but it had a river right behind it. And I used to text my IT guy and I would say my IT guy's name is Nathan. And I used to be like, Nathan, you probably should come by before I launch one of these computers right into the river off the track. He said, hold on, don't do that. I just have no patience. It's not my expertise. So yeah, always
It's funny, our location, because I've told Todd multiple times I'm going to throw my computers in
right
the
out
middle
into
of
the
Grand
Grand
River,
Yeah.
right?
Grand
Yeah.
River, which is a street,
Yeah.
not an actual river.
Well, and it's funny you say my bandwidth or my patience for IT. I don't know if I've ever told you the story, but this is where I say like I kind of was born for IT. In 1983, 82, I started taking coding classes in high school. I freaking loved this whole like new computer thing, right? And I thought it was just like I wanted to do more of it. And then I was, looking at what I was going to do in college. And I told my dad, I said, I think I want to do this computer thing. Like there's computer science, computer engineering, like there was all this stuff revolving around computers. And my father, God rest his soul, said to me, pick something else. There's no money in it. So
Isn't that wild?
Todd's laughing too. I get him laughing. Yeah. So I am IT at heart. Like I love figuring this shit out. The problem for me is that I feel like I should be smarter than a computer. So when I can't figure it out, I get really upset.
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of start losing it. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's so funny. Yeah,
But
no,
the innate intelligence, it's everywhere, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
so if as long as we just, there are different ways, there's different opportunities to get it to flow properly. There are going to be blocks in it. And
Mhm.
so what do we do? It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be some disruption. So how do we handle that? I love what you said, just waking up with the intention of having a great day. I mean, what other things might you do when there's some blocks that come through your life?
Yeah, so well, for one, I'm definitely getting adjusted weekly for sure, and that's always what we talk about here, but, when I'm feeling stuck energy, the very first thing I do is I know I need to move my body, and I do have to say that, we were kind of wrapping up last week with the fact that it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and actually we still have one more day, maybe we can talk because we'll have a little bit more time next week, but one of the greatest things to make progress in our life is just simply movement. Like, did I want to get up? Did I want to go to the gym? Did I want to do all that? No. And I am disciplined enough to know that sitting still isn't going to help me in this process. And also, I had my one of the women that I see that does my lashes every other week. It's probably one of the only services. It is the only service that I do weekly, or regularly, as far as the beauty service, um, except for, my hair every 2 months or so. But anyway, she knew that I had to cancel and reschedule with her, and she just knew that I needed to get really proper nourishment in. So she actually door dashed me a green juice as well as an acai bowl full of nutrition. And I'm like, thank you, because I think a lot of times when we're not feeling all that incredible, we'll just go towards some carby, something processed, whatever. And I'm like, I didn't know DoorDash was headed to me until I was already out the door to the gym, but I turned around and accepted that beautiful gift of nourishment for my heart and soul and my physical body. And it was just, yeah, it's all those things that we still always go back. Like people ask me all the time in practice, like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? What do I do about this? What do I do about that? I'm like, eat well, move well, drink your water, get your rest, get adjusted, and handle stress. Like always. It's like the
Always.
principles always apply. Those 6 foundational things that help lead us to a healthy lifestyle. It's always going back to the basics, always.
And I think I'm going to add on to that. I know we always say sleep well as well, but rest,
Yeah,
rest. I don't think we give ourselves enough permission to rest, and that's really evident by when people come in the office, and it's almost like they come in and they bring the traumas, and it's trauma dump time, and they sit in the chair and they just want la, 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 because they feel like they still have to keep not, they come here and they're like, I've been doing all this running, and you need to hear about it. And I'm like, I don't. Just breathe and
hmm
rest.
hmm
And then I tell them, I need you to go take a walk
hmm
this evening. I need you to just go rest. And it's okay sometimes not to move, but rest.
hmm
Rest your brain, rest your body. Recognize that we're in this just insanely busy world, and we have so much that we need to get done, that we want to get done, that we force upon ourselves, and that alone disrupts that innate flow.
For sure.
So please be kind to yourself and allow yourself to rest. And I love that, that other great lesson from what you had this morning is look out for your tribe,
Yeah.
right? So look out for your tribe.
hmm
Recognize when someone just needs a little bit of something,
hmm
and maybe it's a text, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's an acai bowl,
I
right?
know. It was awesome. And that green juice was so, 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 so nourishing over the weekend. So un, un, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately for me, I've had the opportunity of being in a lot of different places in the last 2 months, really. And last weekend, I headed up north with a group of cousins. So one cousin is from this area. The other cousin is from, 2 cousins are from the UP. So they drove in, we drove up, and the 4 of us met. Now, my one cousin is a potter and she runs her own business. She's a professional artist. My other cousin is a massage therapist and runs her own business. And my other cousin writes contracts for the United Nations. Like she writes, it's insane. And so we're all together, and all of us, somebody had said to us as we're roaming around, and none of us had plans. So I was hosting it at my parents' up north house. However, I said, I am hosting you ladies, but I am not in charge. And everyone else was like, I'm not in charge either. So all 4 of us showed up without being in charge. And somebody said, it's so great that none of you are type A personalities, that you can just go with the flow. I'm like, we're all type
Oh,
A
everybody,
personalities.
yeah.
That's how we become so successful. Except for we are able to step back from that type A personality and meet each other in that place, because we really all needed a rest from decisions, a rest from leadership, a rest from directing our lives, all of it. And it was really fun to go through the weekend and be like, I don't know, however the day unfolds. So anyway, it was that exact same thing. It's like we wanted to get some movement in, but we definitely needed to let our brains, bodies, and souls rest. And we were in safe community to just do that and know that each other needed the rest too. So it was
That's
so
so
great.
beautiful. And then the synergy of everybody, right? Because how many people can't let that go? How many
Yeah,
people do have to stay in charge? They don't give themselves that permission. So what a beautiful way to like, just that tells you those are your people, right?
so much
That
so. Yeah.
everybody can show up and just go, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And nobody's married to the outcome of it.
No.
I freaking
And
love that.
and in our regular lives, we're not like, okay, whatever, because okay, whatever doesn't actually
I know.
get
I
much
know.
done when it comes to running businesses and making
Yeah.
life happen.
Well, and we have a friend, a mutual friend, who is going to be in Florida. Maybe is going to be in Florida. Is concerned about being there, alone. Like I'm traveling alone. I will be there not alone. We're meeting a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of
Right.
friends, and they're concerned about like who are they going to hang out with, and they don't want to just like sit by themselves by the pool. And I actually assured them and I said, oh, just so you know, I actually will be very happy to be by myself at the pool. So, I said, that's not an invitation to hang out with me. That doesn't mean I don't want to hang out with you, but I want slash need time to myself down there. So I don't plan on immersing myself in the thick of everything the whole time, right? I'm going to have some like checkout time because
Mhm.
you need that, right?
Yeah, I was just
So,
thinking about that as it relates back to principle number 20, which is that innate intelligence. A living thing has an inborn intelligence within the body called innate intelligence, and that it's super duper flexible and adaptable in the fact that if we require that we run 100 miles an hour, it'll keep up with that.
mhm, mhm.
And if we give it some time to just rest, give our body time to rest, our mind time to rest, we'll actually be healthier and more resilient in the long run. We cannot run at the pace that the world requires us, that our days require us, without, eventually beginning to break down. And that's, one of my biggest things now that I've done all that travel and movement around is like, okay, this weekend I actually get to like really just be at home and rest and rejuvenate. Before summertime gets wild around the water and around Michigan just in general. So yeah, just want to
But
be
it's
super duper.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
you still do get some reset time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as we set it
I
aside. So,
remember years ago, I went to Total Solution. Did you ever do Solution?
mm-mm.
So Dave Major, who we've had
Mhm.
on this
Yep.
show, Dave Major, I don't know if he's still teaching uh, in at Total Solution or if he's still aligned with them. Anyway, Total Solution was an organization that, and basically you went out to Colorado and they called it going to the top of the mountain. And it was this big, like, personal growth opportunity. And I remember Pat Jump Tempo was saying, he said, when I don't know exactly, I'm going to paraphrase the whole thing and I might butcher it, but you'll get the idea. It was something to the effect of being in a squat, like whether that's downtime, whether that's um, um, intentional downtime, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's a low, you're going through something emotionally, physically. But when you squat, you build up kinetic energy that allows you to then spring forward even
Mhm.
greater than you ever could before. So I always think about that when I literally have that visual of being in a squat, building that kinetic energy, and then being able to launch and be bigger and
Mhm.
better than ever before. So
Yep. That's awesome. It's so true. It's one of the, if you watch a dog stand up from its restful place, it always goes into down dog, up dog because it needs to, it went from that like super stagnant energy to then I got to activate first so that if there is something that, they need to do instinctually, they're ready. And
Mhm.
that rest and then like you said, the squat where you can rejuvenate and be able to spring forward from. It's just really, really an awesome metaphor for how we can be taking our days. I was saying to a friend the other day, it's so cool that we go to sleep at night. Like we close our eyes and our bodies lay down and they literally go into this deep slumber and everything slows down to rejuvenate. And um, how cool that like we just escape and then we come back. And I don't know. There's something really
Yeah.
profound about that.
Well, and then was I having this conversation with you about the brain and the way that the way the brain heals at night and flushes out toxins and rejuvenates for the next day is through dreaming. Like, it's like all that stuff. And then you go, why did I dream about this like weird dream? Eric and I always like call each other and we'll be like, I had the weirdest dream. This is so like, where did this even come from?
Mhm.
But you think about it, it's like how the brain is so fascinating, and that's all the innate. We
Mhm.
have no control over that.
Mhm.
It just happens, and like, wow, it's doing you a favor by giving you all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
yeah.
if we don't get proper sleep, we all know we begin to break down because we all, the body needs that that rest, that rejuve, that downtime. We couldn't go 100 miles an hour always. So anyway, yeah. When do you leave? Do you fly tomorrow?
I fly out tomorrow. Yep.
Okay. And then you
Yep.
come back Sunday?
I am replying to Kenny here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be home Sunday. I've got a house sitter, a couple of house sitters. So people will be at the house with the dog. So yeah, so that feels really good not to have to like move the dog out of his environment.
Yeah.
And
Plus
so
have your house watched, right? I didn't mean to
yeah,
like be like, oh, and your house is empty for.
that's why I wanted to make sure. I was like, oh, but just so you know, yes,
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
I'm just thinking next week I'll be curious to chat about like kind of the redo of like what kind of stuff you were able to fit into your day while you were down there. I know you just
Yeah.
traveled a couple weeks ago too. It seems to be a big like wander around time for you and I.
Yeah, it's I'm excited because I think I told you too that I leave tomorrow and I don't have a super early morning flight, which sometimes I like that, but then I'm like I've been really like I know my energy is down. I know I need a rejuvenation. So I think I have like a 10 a.m. flight. So that's easy enough to do. And then the only thing Saturday, so the party is Thursday night and Friday night. It's a good friend of ours who's a chiropractor, 50th birthday party. And then there's a Saturday brunch. And most everybody's leaving Saturday. So, but like she and her husband will still be there. I'm sure there's still going to be other people there. But that's where I'm like, I was going to come home Saturday and I'm like, you know what? You're going to be in Florida. You haven't really had a vacation. It's been on the move and great to just take that extra day and just have that kind of a downtime. And listen, because then I was like, oh, I could like leisurely sit by the pool and, there is stuff that I need to do, work on and, programs and things. But then I'm like, or I might do it or I might do nothing. I might do none of it. I might just be like, peace out. I'm sleeping here. I'm going to soak up the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have another cocktail. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what state I'm going to be in by the time, state of mind I'll be in, but yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be lovely. And then I'll be home on Sunday because our tradition is to go to the Memorial Day parade in our town, which is just always, it's all the locals. And actually I have this like thing with Memorial Day. Like I always cry at the parade because, you're honoring fallen soldiers. And I just think about, and then the police and the fire and all the military are there. And it just really, it reconnects me. I'm very patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see that, I'm like, people laid their lives on the line for us to have these freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
And not to get too political, but these young people, and I sound old when I say that, they need to recognize that this is the greatest country on planet Earth. And you are here because of your freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody at one point that I saw on TV said, what good is it if I'm free here, but my, so-and-so in such and such country, I'm not even going to mention it because I don't want to isn't. And I'm like, that's the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not even like just have that blessing, have that gratitude that we do have these freedoms here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we're so fortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Fenton. So in my small town, they just repurposed a park actually directly across the street from my office into a veterans memorial park. And they're doing a big memorial dedication and it's freaking amazing what they did. I got to see it a couple of weeks ago when it was first unveiled. I was on a tour around Fenton and it's pretty profound. Next time you come up here, we'll walk down there. It is really, really a profound thing. So yeah, we have the parade here right in front of the office at 10 and then the dedication at 11. And, it's basically all veterans were invited to have a brick laid for their name. And my stepdad is a veteran. So he is one of them out there, but my brother is also, and then my first ex-husband and his brother and his dad. So I'm going to get 4 more bricks laid in there for them just to be remembered forever. I mean, I was a military wife and I traveled for 6 years with the military, and it's pretty significant what as soldiers go through. I was in the Air Force. My husband was in the Air Force, and but all across the board, like the sacrifices that we had to make as a couple, he had to make as an individual, I had to make as a spouse, but then all of our multiplied by all the friends and temporary duties everywhere. And then those, of course, who lost their lives too. And yeah, it's not to be, it's something to really have a moment. And the first time I saw the park, I was in deep tears as well. It's really, we're only free because of the Braves. So it's really,
And
really,
I would love to see that because we want to do a memorial, honorary memorial, whether it's a park or an installment or something here in Lyon Township.
yeah.
So I definitely would like to come up there and see that. So, and I'm also looking at the time.
I know you got to go for sure.
Let's recap what
happens
this
really
was.
quick.
And I don't know, we might need to give this a little more justice, and we might do this one on repeat next week. So
Yeah, actually 21 just kind of, you know how they all go, they like just kind of repeat on themselves anyway. So principle number 20, innate intelligence, a living thing. Oh, wait, sorry. That was last week. A living thing has inborn intelligence within its body called innate intelligence. And then 21, the mission of innate intelligence. The mission of innate intelligence is to maintain the material of the body of a living thing in active organization. So is that right? That's next week. So it basically talks about, so last week was organic matter. This week is innate intelligence. And then next week is the mission of innate intelligence, which really ties right back into this. So I think it's lovely to then move on to 21 next week and then be able to kind of recap on innate intelligence anyway. So
perfect.
In the meantime, have the best lunch and safest weekend.
And you guys probably won't see me on Sunday unless my plane gets back in time. We shall see. I was hoping to get an interview pre-recorded. I was unable to do that. And I was hoping to pre-record Monday, which is Memorial Day, but I'll be live anyway because I always go live during the parade because I'm just there. I'm in it and honoring everybody. So okay, this was short and sweet, and we are so glad that you guys showed up for us, even though we did not announce it. We weren't sure that we were going to make it, but thank you so much. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Enjoy, and we will definitely see you next week. So thanks so much. We love you so much. All right, see ya. Bye.